Hey beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com. Welcome to my Pearl Elegance necklace tutorial. Everything that you see here today in order to make this necklace is available at EurekaCrystalBeads.com. I will leave all the product links down below in a detailed materials list, so if you're curious, definitely check that out to see what I'm using in particular and the corresponding links on Eureka Crystal Beads website. I'm also excited to share that they have generously created a coupon code for you guys, and that code is ORCHID15, ORCHID15, and that will get you 15% off your purchase. That is a one-time use code and there are a few restrictions, but definitely take advantage of that if you're able to. So just real quick before we get into the instruction, I just want to mention that the reason I'm calling this the Pearl Elegance necklace is because it is a great way to use any kind of 6mm beads. Pearls, of course, are so common, but it's not as common to see them in bead weaving, in particular in a necklace like this. And what's great about this necklace, this is the back by the way, what this design does is it actually pops those pearls forward and makes them sit up really nicely, but at the same time lay flat on the neck. So this is a very versatile design. Don't be afraid to try other beads and experiment with different ones in place of what I have here. But of course, as you'll notice, for this tutorial, you will need size 11 and size 15 seed beads. You will need some 6mm round beads. These in particular are check glass Druks. You will also need some Rondelles that are about 4mm wide, and I'm also using some 3mm Swarovski crystal Bicones there, but you could of course substitute something else you have in your stash with those. So those are the beads, of course. I will also be using my favorite beading thread. This is a 6-pound Fireline. You can also get this at Eureka Crystal Beads, as well as these pony beading needles. Other than those items, you're going to need the clasp of your choice, jump rings, the chain of your choice, and 2 wire guardians if possible. So without further ado, go ahead and string on about 9 to 10 feet of your beading thread onto your needle, and let's get started. To begin this necklace, we're going to be working with our 11 seed beads and our 6mm round beads. The beaded portion of the necklace is going to be about 6 inches wide, and then you can attach whatever size or length of chain that you want to make it the length that you want. So once you have your needle threaded, go ahead and pick up 7 of your 11 seed beads, and then bring those 7 seed beads all the way down to the end of your thread, leaving yourself about an 8-inch tail. That way you can go back and weave that in when you're done. You'll notice I'm not using a stop bead in this particular project. That is something that is totally up to you, and of course if you are more comfortable using one, definitely feel free to do that. Now once we have those 7 seed beads down toward the end of our thread, we're going to go back through seed bead number 4, just like that. So just hold those other 3 in place so they don't fall off the other end, and go through seed bead number 4. That, and what that's going to do is when you pull this, it is going to create this little pattern here. Once you have that, go ahead and pick up another 3 11 seed beads, and then pick up one of your 6mm round beads. Now what you want to do is swing your needle back around and go through those first 3 seed beads that were kind of hanging out that you haven't gone through yet, the ones that are sitting before the little diamond shape. And then continue on by going through those 3 seed beads right after your diamond. So just totally skip over that diamond, skip over that seed bead right in the middle there, and just go through those last 3. And pull that tight. And that's what you have so far. Now the next step is to string on 7 more 11s. Pull those all the way down to your work, and just like we did before, we're going to be going through that 4th seed bead there and making another little diamond shape. So go through the 4th seed bead, pull that together, and if it formed down here where you have a little gap of thread, just go ahead and pinch that with your thumb and your forefinger and slide it down. It'll slide right down to where you need it. On this side, the next one's going to be on this side, but don't worry, as you keep going, your piece will stay together a little bit easier, and once we get to the next steps, everything will stay in place like it should. Now you can go ahead and pick up 3 more seed beads and another one of your 6mm. What you want to do now is just go straight through that first 6mm bead, back towards the beginning and pull that. So you're coming out of the 6mm where you started. Just continue on the thread path. Go back through those first 3 seed beads that you get to. Right on through there. And this is just going to keep strengthening your piece since you're going through these again. So go through those 3 and then skip over the little diamond like we did before and go through just the next 3 seed beads. Pull that tight. And now go straight through that 6mm round bead that you just added on. Pull all your thread through and then hold it with your thumb and your forefinger and just pull it tight. You want to make sure your little diamonds are shaped properly. String on another 7 seed beads. Pull those all the way down. And just like we did before, you're going to go through the 4th seed bead, just like that, and pull, and that's making our next little diamond shape. Just holding that down with my forefinger, just so it can hold together, and then I'm going to grab it and slide it down, just like that. Now, just like we did before, pick up 3 11/0 seed beads and a 6mm, and go back through from right to left that 6mm druk right before it, and then pull that down to your work and just follow the thread path. So you're coming out of this 6mm, you're going to go through these 3 seed beads, skipping the diamond, so skipping that next seed bead and then going through the following 3 seed beads that you get to there. And this is the same pattern you're going to be following until you run out of druk beads or whatever 6mm round beads that you're using. This is the same procedure for the whole length in this step. So let's do one more together before we move on. So remember, at this point you would string on 7 more 11/0 seed beads. Bring those all the way down to your work. Go through seed bead number 4. Make sure they're sitting right, and then slide it down. And then you'll pick up 3 more 11/0 seed beads, another one of your 6mm rounds, and go through the 6mm round bead that you added on directly to the left. Pull that. Take a minute to get everything situated, and then follow your thread path. So we're going to go back through these 3 seed beads, skipping this one, and through these. So let's do it. So go through these 3 like that. Pull it. Skip over the diamond. Go through the next 3 seed beads that you get to. And then just go straight through that 6mm round bead that you just added and pull that tight. Alright, so you should have something that looks like this so far. Go ahead and weave your beads in the same manner all the way till the end, which is where you're going to run out of your druk beads. Then we'll go ahead and proceed with the next steps together. Alright, welcome back. So if you've used all 21 of your round beads, you should have something like this. Just have your work flipped so that you have these 2 ends with the little diamonds facing up. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be filling in each of these little gaps on the top, working from right to left. So we've ended our necklace from the last step. Coming out of this druk bead, we want to make our way up to this bead at the top of the diamond. So go through those 3 seed beads right there and pull your thread. Now pick up an 11/0 and pop that in between this little gap here and go through the very right side of your diamond through that seed bead. And pop a little seed bead right in that space, just like that. And then pick up one more 11/0 and you're going to pop that right in here. So once you have that one on your needle, just go ahead and go through the top seed bead of that first diamond. All right, so like I said, next we're going to be filling in each of these gaps at the top, and this is the sequence. You're going to pick up one of your Swarovski bicones, a 15-0 seed bead, one of your rondelles, another 15-0 seed bead, and another bicone. So you should have this sequence on your needle, and then just go ahead and string straight through the top of that next little diamond. Go right through that seed bead at the top. And go ahead and pull that. There you go. We're going to do that same sequence again. Pick up a bicone, a 15-0, a rondelle, a 15-0, and a bicone. And then go right through that next top seed bead there that you get to. Just popping those beads right into place like that. And do the same thing all the way down till you get to the other side. So we'll do one more together, and then I'm going to speed it up. So bicone, 15-0, rondelle, 15-0, bicone, and through the next top diamond seed bead. And pull. And there you go. Don't worry about pulling too terribly tight right now. Once you get to the end of it, you can cinch it up a little bit, and we'll be working back along this way yet again, so you'll have time to tighten up the piece as you go. Alright, so there is your top section all filled in, and you're coming out of that top diamond bead all the way on the left. Now, just like we did on the other side, go ahead and pick up an 11-0 and pop that right in between the top and the left 11-0 seed beads just to fill in that little gap. And pull that down, and now pick up one more 11-0, and this time go through those 3 seed beads that are running down the left-hand side of your necklace. Pull that. And you can see that we're now in a position to start our next step, and that involves beading in some 15-0. So that's what we're going to be working with now for this next part. You want to pick up 8 of your 15-0s. And pull those all the way down. And we are going to go through seed bead number 5. That's going to help us create another little diamond shape using the 15-0s right along the bottom. So go through that one and pull your little diamond shape down, and that's what you should have. And next you want to pick up 4 more 15-0s. So what you eventually want is you want this little diamond that you created to sit right under this 6mm round, and to do that you need to find the hole of your 6mm bead. So you see this one and this one, those are the 2 that we want to go up through, just like that, and it's going to start bringing everything together. There you go. Now coming out of this 11-0 right here, go ahead and pick up 4 more 15-0s. And this time, go through the 15-0, the rondelle, and the 15-0 right there on the top row. And pull that tight. Tight within reason, that is. So coming out of this little 15-0 here on the top row, pick up another 4 15-0s. And just like we went up through these 2 seed beads here on this side, we're going to go down through these 2 seed beads here on the other side of the 6-0. So go down through those 2 seed beads and pop your little 15-0s right into place. We're going to make another one of these right below the next round bead. So pick up 8 more 15-0s. And pull those down, and now go through seed bead number 5, making yourself that little diamond with the 4 on the very end. Take your time getting that little diamond situated and pull down all the way to the bottom there and pick up 4 more 15-0s. Now find those 2 seed beads on either side of the hole on your 6mm and go up through those. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the goal here is that these round beads are going to be sitting up a little bit on one side, and that's what you want. Okay, so coming out of that gold seed bead there, pick up 4 15-ohs and go through the 15-oh, rondelle 15-oh right above. Pick up 4 more 15-ohs. And then go down through those 2 11-ohs right on the other side of the hole of that 6mm bead that you get to next. So that is 2 sections completed. You can see how this is coming together, and you are just going to repeat those same steps all the way to the end of the beaded portion of this necklace. So once again, go ahead and do that, and we will meet back and talk about what's next. Alright, I have good news. We're almost done, guys. So I am at this end right here and just going to finish up my little 15-oh side down here. So to finish that up, we're just going to go straight up through these 4 seed beads right here on the side and pull that. Now just take a minute and take a look at the tension on your piece. Make sure it's not too terribly scrunched up, but just kind of take a moment and straighten it all out. Make sure everything is looking tight, but not overly tight to where it's too scrunched together where it won't lay right. If you're using wire guardians, this is where you're going to want to pull those 2 out. We're going to go ahead and attach one to this side, and we'll also be finishing up with some 11-oh seed beads, so you can get a few more out of those as well. So to attach the wire guardian on this side, pick up an 11-oh, and then pick up your wire guardian going through one side of it and pull that down. It is going to sit right here on the end. Now go through, by swinging your needle back around, go through the other side of the wire guardian. And just hold that with your thumb and your forefinger if you need to, so it's not flipping all around. And make sure your thread nestles right in the little groove of that wire guardian. These are great for protecting your thread and give you a nice barrier between your beading and your clasp. Go ahead and pick up one more 11-oh seed bead and go back through those 4 11-ohs you started out going through, and that's going to position our wire guardian just like that. Now go through your seed bead, wire guardian, and seed bead one more time, which will just continue to give it a little bit more strength. Holding it with your thumb and your forefinger, again making sure that thread nestles where it's supposed to. Now we have a tiny little gap right here in between the 15-ohs and the 11-ohs, so just pick up an 11-oh to fill in that gap. And working from right to left, we're going to go right across this entire thing one more time and pull that. So that's one side completed, and now you're just going to be popping an 11-oh in between each one of these 6mm rounds. You'll also just want to make sure that your round beads are sitting up, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. What this extra seed bead in between the rounds also does is it covers up this little gap. So if you look close, you can see our little threads in there, and we want to cover that up. So make sure you're not going underneath the thread like that when you're adding in your 11-oh. You want to go over top of any threads that are there, and then go straight through the next 6mm round. So that covers it up. It continues our little V-shaped pattern here, pulls everything together, and makes sure those 6mm are all sitting up the same way across the piece. Really important step right here. So once again, pick up an 11-oh, go over any threads that might be there vertically, and go straight through the next 6mm. and pop that into place. It's looking so good, you guys. If you're newer, find that you have to take it apart, start over, can't get it right away, don't worry about it. It happens to the best of us. You will get the hang of it. It's just beads. It should be fun. Take your time. It's not a race. All right, just continuing on down here, and it is starting to shape up really nice. This is my favorite step of this piece just because it's that final finishing touch, And once you do this, the piece feels so solid. So just continue on in this manner till you get to the other side, and we will attach our next wire guardian and weave in our tail threads. All right, we're pretty much going to do the same thing on this side that we did on this side, and just take a moment again to put your beadwork down and flatten it out. Make sure it's not too scrunched up or anything like that. You want it to lay just like this around the base of the neck. All right, if you're coming out of this 6mm right here, I want you to go through these 4 seed beads that are running right along this side, and we're positioning our needle in such a way that we'll be able to add our other wire guardian on just like we did before. Pick up another 11-0, then pick up one side of your wire guardian and string that down. Then go through the other side of your wire guardian, pick up an 11-0, and go back through those 4 seed beads. There you go. Now it's looped right on there. And then go around through the wire guardian on both sides and through that 11-0 that you just added. Once again, just making sure your thread is situated in the groove of that wire guardian. So that is the end of your beadwork. Now you are free to finish your piece however you want. I usually like to make several half-hitch knots going through beads and weaving my threads back in. So I'm going to make my first one just right here since we're there. So I'm making a little loop and bringing my needle through that. And then I think I'm going to go through the center row of beads, I'm going to call it, and just work my way down, making about 3 knots with this thread. And there's our 3rd knot, and we'll just continue on through a few more beads. Depending on how much thread you have, you can go back through your whole piece again if you'd like, but making at least 3 knots and weaving partially back in is usually sufficient. So then we'll go ahead and clip that off. Then I'll go ahead and knot and weave my tail thread through, just like I did with that thread, and you don't need to watch me do that. Once that's complete, we're going to attach a jump ring to our wire guardian, which is then going to attach to a piece of chain. Now I've made my necklace about 16 inches long in this original design, so taking into account the beadwork is about 6 inches, you'd need about 5 inches of chain on each side, and then it's up to you if you want to add a little extender there on the end. Again, I will have all these product links listed down below, including the chain, the clasp, the wire guardians, everything that I used in this project today. So let me go ahead and finish up this piece, and then we will have one final look at the finished product. All right, everyone, so here is the finished necklace. I hope you're happy with how yours turned out. I can only imagine all the stunning color combinations that could be made using this particular necklace. And don't forget, in place of these rounds, you could also use 6mm gemstone rounds or glass pearls, Swarovski pearls, anything you have in that size. And of course, these beads up here on the top row, these rondelles in particular, could be substituted with any 4mm wide crystal rondelle. But once again, I'm going to leave a full detailed materials list down below with all the links, and I encourage you to check out EurekaCrystalBeads.com. It is one of my favorite places to shop for beads. And don't forget, you can use that coupon code ORCHID15 to save 15% off your purchase, one time only. So I want to thank you all again so much for being with me for another fun tutorial. Feel free to share any of the pictures of the jewelry you've made from my tutorials on my Facebook page. I always love to hear about them and check them out. Please stay tuned for more tutorials, finished jewelry updates, monthly bead box unboxings, and much more. But until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can check out the information section below this video for links to all my social media handles, recommended products, and my shop and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching.